What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got MLB players who celebrated and paid the price. Let's check this out.
Celebrating like this is illegal. Celebrating like this was made illegal, and just last year, MLB banned this celebration. They may seem harmless, but celebrations like these have cost people. Celebrations have cursed franchises. It ruined this player's career.
Yo!
Celebrations have cursed franchises. It
Nigga just hit him with a super kick? Nah, bro, that's crazy.
Career, and he wasn't even the one who celebrated. These players celebrated, and it cost their team their season. But most of the time, celebrations just lead to this.
Damn. Ooh. Here we go. I ain't gonna lie, I love MLB fights, bro.
Celebrations come at a cost in baseball. It's usually a fastball at your ribs, and that's if you're lucky. From 1909 to 1920, 4 minor league players died after getting hit in the head with pitches.
Oh my gosh.
Hit 150 batters in his career, the 15th most ever. Admitted many of them were on purpose and was only ejected once. Then did it repeatedly and didn't even get ejected. He stayed and pitched the rest of the game. This kind of stuff has been accepted throughout baseball history. David Palmer once had a problem with Gary Carter because he did a curtain call. He thought a curtain call was unwarranted and braggadocious. For payback, he hit Darryl Strawberry with a pitch. Strawberry wasn't even the one who did the celebration. He got pissed, charged the mound,
that is tough,
between 2 entire teams, and somehow nobody, not even Strawberry or Palmer, got ejected for this.
For real?
Retaliation for celebrations has been a part of baseball forever, and it happens to this day. Just last week, Randy Arozarena made the Rangers irate after he stepped out of the box before the pitch even got there. The next pitch, he steps out of the box again. On the third pitch, he did it again. There's 3 balls. The Rangers don't want to walk him. After stepping out 3 times, they know Arozarena isn't swinging. The pitcher knows he just has to throw any pitch right down the middle and he will get a strike. So he throws the slowest fastball he's thrown all year right down the middle. Arozarena swings and hits a bomb. He pretended like he wasn't gonna swing 3 times in a
Hey, that's smart though. That was an IQ, bitch.
Easy pitch.
Okay.
Watched the homer, pointed to his dugout, took 33 seconds to round the bases. As the Rangers chirped him the entire time, the catcher had words with him and he proceeded to pull off a 360.
He did the Cristiano Ronaldo celly, okay.
The next time he came to the plate, the Rangers nailed him with a pitch. Arozarena calmed
Nigga,
down
they salty, bro.
putting further content.
They salty.
But Bryce Harper didn't do that, and his celebration ended up ending a player's career. In 2014, Bryce Harper hits this bomb off Hunter Strickland in the playoffs. A few days later, he hit another bomb off Strickland, who got mad at Harper for standing too long in the box. Strickland said something to Harper. Harper looked at him a little, then when he got to the dugout, started yelling at him. This was such a big deal for Strickland that the next time they faced each other, 3 years later, you're still holding a grudge? Harper charged the mound, threw his helmet, threw punches.
I think I remember this fight too.
Harper paid for this celebration by getting hit, but
damn,
the casualty was Michael.
Like, bro, I love MLB fights and bro, hockey fights as well. But hockey fights be brutal.
Collided with Jeff Samardzija, got a concussion, and wasn't able to play for the rest of the year. Already on the back end of his career, he never got another chance in MLB again. This concussion ended his career for good, all because of a celebration 3 years earlier. There's many reasons why celebrations are so taboo in baseball compared to other sports. It dates back hundreds of years. In the early days, professional athletes weren't really a thing. If you played baseball for a living, you were pretty much seen as a degenerate. They got paid nothing, were drunk all the time, and fought constantly. Hall of Famer Cap Anson famously chased a pitcher out of a stadium with a bat.
Bro, what? Nah, bro, it's a crash out.
John McGraw in the face during a play at
but that super kick is crazy.
A bash so intense that during it, someone in the stands started a fire. While the teams
Bro,
were fighting
what?
on the field, the fire got out of control and burned down the entire stadium. It spread.
I ain't know MLB get this crazy. What the
Or
fuck?
greatly damaged over 200 buildings, and 1,900 people were left homeless. To this day, this is one of the biggest fires in Boston history.
Nah,
In the
that's
late
insane.
1800s, an umpire once broke a player's arm after hitting him with a bat during a game. This
Okay, bro,
umpire
it's never that
just so
serious, bro. It's a
happened
sport.
to
Relax.
also be the president of the league. Yes, the president of the league filled in as an umpire and hit one of his own players with a bat while doing it. This kind of stuff was obviously bad for business. So when
Bro,
the National
what
League
the
formed in
hell?
1876, they put an emphasis on getting rid of debauchery, getting rid of drinking, getting rid of gambling, and marketing the game as a family-friendly event, going back to baseball's roots as a gentleman's game. Showing up opponents with celebrations went against this image, so celebrating became taboo. Over 100 years later, the National League is still around, and the family-friendly image they began with has been ingrained in baseball.
I like that. I like that
ever
right there.
since. It's one of the many reasons celebrations are more taboo in baseball than most other sports. For example, the NCAA made taunting in football a 15-yard penalty. They made taunting in basketball a
Look at Angel
technical
Reese,
foul.
bro.
But in baseball, taunting
Angel Reese
results
is fine
in
and
an
shit.
automatic
But let me know, do y'all want me to react to like WNBA games and shit? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really been keeping up with WNBA this year.
Is banned
Y'all let me know, though.
baseball. Yes, in the year 2024, college baseball banned bat flips. These players all got ejected.
Banned bat
for doing
flips?
this.
For real?
Nobody paid a bigger price than this kid. In a conference rivalry game, up by 3, the Gators brought in their closer. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. This is the biggest out of the game. He strikes out the batter to get out of the jam, got excited, yells towards the other team's dugout, then puts his head down, starts walking back into the dugout, knowing he also has to pitch the 9th inning. Except he doesn't pitch the 9th inning because he got ejected for this. Luckily, at the time, they hit a home run.
Nah, that's lame.
Away even further and mocked the umpires by doing an anti.
Why is he walking like that?
Going into the dugout. Unfortunately, this pitcher also got suspended for this celebration.
Okay, nah, bro. Nah, y'all taking it too far, bro. Getting suspended for yelling? Nah, bro, y'all soft as hell. Come on now.
The biggest series of the year to that point. They went on to get swept by the number 6 team in the country. But this couldn't happen in MLB because they don't have a rule against celebrating. It's an unwritten rule. It's policed by players. Celebrate too much, there's a good chance you get a ball thrown at you as hard as humanly possible. But in spite of this, some brave players have fought back. Typically, you have 2 options.
Damn.
Go to first or charge the mound. However,
I'll charge the mound every single time, nigga. I ain't even gonna lie.
Never happened again in baseball.
Let's throw these hands, nigga. Come on.
Massive target on his back. This pitcher threw a pitch up and in to intimidate him, a regular occurrence for Jackson. He challenged the pitcher to a fight and had to be carried back to the dugout. But Jackson still wanted revenge, so when he came up to the plate later, he did something better. He hit a bomb, stared at it, and celebrated around the bases. Then after he touched home, he charged the mound. Reggie Jackson might be the only player in history to charge the mound.
Got him in a headlock too?
Hitting a home run. Jackson got a cut under his eye and was ejected for fighting against the unwritten rules. These are rules that aren't in the rule book but are still enforced in other ways. Players used to not be able to bring their wives on the road. The Diamondbacks had an unwritten rule that allowed certain players to use the team's best bathroom. If you had less than 3 years of MLB experience, you had to use the team's bad bathroom. And
what, bro? What?
There was even an unwritten rule against bubbles. But before we get to that,
bro, these weird ass rules.
An unwritten rule that banned how much lunch a player could eat. Eating too much lunch would result in a player having to run until they puke. But that was before they invented Factor. Now players don't.
Okay, bro. Okay, this is about to be a. Alright, we're gonna skip right past that, bro. Come on now. Let's get right past that.
Ethier was really looking forward to the foam party, so he suggested the Dodgers get the next best thing. For months, he requested that the team get a bubble machine. And after
Grown-ass
they
men.
finally got a bubble machine. Eventually, the bubble machine made its way into the dugout, and then eventually they just started using the bubble machine every time a player hit a home run and began dancing to it.
Bro,
Soon
what
enough,
the
entire
fuck?
stadium caught on and began blowing bubbles every time someone hit a home run. Then randomly, the bubble machine disappeared. MLB had stepped in and banned the bubble machine. However,
Wow.
there wasn't an actual rule in the rule book that could justify not being able to use a bubble machine. MLB
is MLB a no
and
fun
just
league
said,
too?
quote, "It just doesn't feel right." But with no actual rule, the Dodgers realized MLB couldn't do anything about it. So
Ooh, stand
they
your
brought
ground.
the bubble machine back. And
Yeah.
thanks to the Dodgers fighting back on this policy, today MLB dugouts are infested with props used to celebrate. It seems like almost every single team has a signature home run celebration, but not every celebration is allowed.
fuck is
In
that?
fact, this one is banned, and many people think it cursed this team's season. In
Ooh.
2013, the Orioles started
Not my
pieing
Orioles,
after
bro.
walk-offs and post-game interviews. They even pied their own fans after clinching the division in 2014. Adam Jones would pie mascots. A local pie company even began sending them real pies to use on the field.
Oh,
This seemed
shit.
like harmless fun until 2015, when after a go-ahead two-run homer, Steve Pearce got to do a post-game interview, was pied in the face, and injured his lips. The Orioles found out about this
Injured his
and decided
lips?
the pies were too risky. That offseason, they banned the team from doing it. Fans were pissed and so were the players. Adam Jones spoke out against the ban, and the first chance he got the next season, he pied Matt Wieters in the face after a walk-off in April. But once again, the Orioles put their foot down. There wasn't a pie for the rest of the year as the team had a disappointing season and an embarrassing loss in the wild card round. The next year, the team got off to a hot start. They were in first place and the pies briefly returned. Then once again, it disappeared. In the meantime, with no pies, the team got destroyed and fell to last place. Then out of nowhere, in July, they got hot again. After a walk-off, a pie returned. The next week, Manny Machado got 2 pies. Then Dylan Bundy got pied 3 times after a complete game shutout. Wellington Castillo got pied by his own son. Then
Nah, by his own son is
Mark
crazy.
Hit this walk-off. The Orioles, who were at one point in last place, were now only a game and a half back of a playoff spot. During his post-game interview, he was warned, looked somewhat annoyed, hit by a pie, hit by another pie, and the interview ended abruptly. Immediately after the game, news broke that the Orioles, once and for all, banned these pies for good. Everybody blamed Trumbo, yet this wasn't even his fault. He didn't even mind getting pied, and the Orioles just thought it was too dangerous. A pie was never thrown again.
Wow.
Immediately after this ban, they lost 20 of their next 25 games and finished the season in last place. The next year, they had the worst record in baseball and didn't have a winning record for 5 more seasons. All because of this one pie that cut Steve Pearce's lip. But even that can't compare to this celebration, which set off a chain of events that led to one of the biggest collapses in baseball history.
What happened?
In 2007, the Mets had high expectations. They were delivering, and at the end of the season, found themselves 7 games ahead of the Phillies on September 12th. They were 7 games up with only 17 left to play. They proceeded to lose 11 out of their next 15 games. Going into the second
That's
last
tough.
game of the season, the Mets needed to win to keep their season alive. They swamped the last place Marlins. But in this process, Lastings Millage and Jose Reyes did this celebration. Along with this and some other celebrations, the Marlins got offended, so later in the game, they threw at the Mets. The benches cleared and everybody calmed down.
Come on now.
Except for this guy.
Niggas getting
Miguel
salty and
Olivo
shit.
was notorious for altercations, famously telling a reporter in spring training that he wanted to be a boxer like Mike Tyson, but without, quote, biting somebody's ear off. Then, several months later, got in a fight in the minor leagues and literally bit someone's ear off.
Bro, what? Okay, come on now. Come on now.
2007, he
That
was
is so uncalled for.
unhappy with Jose Reyes, who he was actually friends with from the Dominican Republic. Reyes was talking to the Marlins, joking around. Olivo didn't think it was funny, charged him, and started an all-out clash. This is happening the day before the last game of the season. A game that if the Mets lose would seal one of the biggest collapses in history. It should be an easy win. They're playing a last place team on the last day of a season. A team like this would typically just want the season to end. But because of this beef, the Marlins were extremely motivated. They hated the Mets and say this fired them up. So in the very last game of the season, in the very first inning, they scored 7 runs against future Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. Literally the worst start of his career. The Mets stranded 8 runners in 3 innings and ended up getting smoked 8-1 to seal the end of their season. And this small celebration may have made all the difference. Back then, anything like this could set a team off. This guy celebrated a homer, got thrown at, and kicked a catcher, and
that is still the wildest thing I've ever seen.
Coolest walk-off celebrations ever. This is remembered and beloved.
What the hell?
But even he got nailed by a pitch in spring training because of it. The Dodgers once clinched a division title in Arizona. They celebrated by swimming in their swimming pool in the outfield, leading the CEO of the Diamondbacks to complain.
What the hell, bro?
Manager for not having his players throw.
Oh my God, this is funny.
GM saw the Dodgers celebrating a home run by eating a banana in the dugout. He got even more mad, saying he wanted to hit them with a baseball himself. Today, this would never happen. Teams use props, pimp homers, and almost everyone has a signature celly for base hits. You're less likely to get hit.
Think y'all Triple H or some shit?
Celebrations are still dangerous in other ways. And this guy became public enemy #1 in his own country because of it. King Bak-ho became one of the most controversial players in Korea after he was caught on camera chewing gum and looking disinterested while losing in the 2020 Olympics. Losing was so embarrassing for Korea that this was national news. So leading up to the WBC, Korea and King Bak-ho were determined to fix their image. The team fell behind in their first game and needed a rally. And in the 7th, when the team needed him most, King Bak-ho hit a clutch double, celebrated, came off the bag by an inch, and was tagged out. The next
talk about bad luck.
He hadn't got out at second, and since Korea ended up losing by 1 run, that was the difference. To make matters worse, Korea ended up not making out of pool play. If they would have won this game, they would have made it out of pool play, meaning that this inch might have literally cost them the WBC. King Bak-ho, who was already controversial in Korea before this, was blamed, has received nonstop criticism, ridicule, and hate mail ever since, all because of this celebration, making it perhaps the costliest celebration of all time.
Damn, man, that is crazy. Hey, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other MLB videos y'all want me to react to. Without further ado, I'm out. Yeah.